Hey guys, Jeff here with Passive Income Unlocked. So a common question I've been getting on the channel lately is what theme do you guys use on your sites? So that's what I'm going to go over in this video. But before I jump into that, I just want to make it really clear that if you have a brand new site or if you're new to blogging, you don't need to pay for a theme. WordPress comes bundled with a lot of free themes and they're more than sufficient for a new site. Once you start getting some content on your site, once you start getting some visitors to your site, that's the point when you might want to start looking at possibly upgrading. Maybe something that's a little bit more mobile friendly, something that's a little bit faster, something that just looks a little bit nicer for the users or for your visitors. But until you get to that point, a free theme will definitely get you pretty far. So in this video, what I want to do is talk about the theme that we use on all of our sites, including PassiveIncomeUnlocked.com, show you some of the features, take you to the backend in WordPress, show you what the visitor sees, show you how you can change it up a little bit, just kind of go over some of the things that we were looking into or looking for when we chose the theme. So that theme, by the way, is called Contentberg by ThemeSphere. I do have a link to it in the description below. That is an affiliate link if you want to check it out. And with that being said, just jump over to my computer and I'll walk you through that theme. Alright, so in this video, what I want to do is just kind of walk you through a few different things related to the theme that we use, which again is Contentberg. So first, if you click that link in the description below, it's going to take you to this page that you're seeing right now. So this is a Contentberg main page. You'll see that it's priced at $69. If you scroll down this page, you'll find a lot of different information about the theme. I'm going to kind of walk you through that in this video anyways. One thing that I'll point out is if you want to just kind of see the different things you can do with the theme as far as changing the home page, changing the post style, all that type of stuff, you can just click this preview item button. And that's going to take you to a page here, which I already had open apparently. So it's going to take you to this page here, and you'll just see a bunch of different demos. You can click on these if you want to view the live demos. Basically, if you scroll through, you can just kind of see like what this would be a home page, what this one would look like versus this one. So you can see there's a lot of different styles that you can use here. So you can have a slider on the top of your page. You can have all sorts of different types of grid layouts, and these are all customizable with the click of a button. So I'm going to show you that in a second. If you scroll down a little bit further, you'll see you choose your article style. So this is basically how the posts themselves will look. So, you know, where the image is, if the image spans across the top, or if it's just showing a fixed image, how much padding there is for the text, whether or not you have social buttons on the sides, whether or not you have a sidebar, and so on. And there's all sorts of things you can do with that. So like you can see this one right here looks quite a bit different from these two. So you can do a lot of these things. Again, it's really simple to make these changes. If you go down a little bit further, last thing I'll show you here is you can have sliders on your site if you want to. We don't use sliders just because sliders tend to slow your site down, but if you want to use them, they do look nice. So there's all sorts of different sliders you can have with Contentberg. So like you can have one that looks like that, or that, or that, and so on. So you can just look at this. Again, this is just a page you can kind of go to if you want to just check out the theme really quickly, see all the different things you can do with it, and you can view the demos, the live demos. So next, I'm going to take you into the back end of PassiveIncomeUnlocked.com. Again, like I said, we use the same theme across all of our sites, including this one. And what I'll do here is I'll just walk you through just a few of the settings, just show you some of the things that you can do with this theme. So this is a home page of PassiveIncomeUnlocked.com. Looks just like this. We just have a standard blog roll, you know, logo at the front, menu across the top, social channel up here, which is just YouTube, and then search button, sidebar, really straightforward, but it looks really clean, which is what we're looking for. And actually, let me pause right there, and I'm just going to kind of go over really quick why we chose this theme in the first place. So when we were looking for a new theme, which was probably a couple of years ago, we changed our themes up. What we were looking for, we wanted something that was responsive, of course, responsive meaning that's mobile friendly, works across all types of devices. Pretty much any theme you pay for these days is going to check that box, so that wasn't an issue. We wanted something that was relatively fast. And to be relatively fast, you're looking for something that's lightweight, so it's not bloated with a lot of code. So this checked that box as well. We wanted the user interface to be very clean, something very clean and simple where the content really stands out, and that's kind of where this theme really shines. So I'll come back to that one. The last thing we wanted was the cost to be relatively inexpensive. Ideally, just a one-time payment. So a lot of things that you'll see, or a lot of times what you'll see with a theme is that you'll have a recurring payment. It's usually an annual payment. We didn't really want to go down that path, even though we can definitely afford it, but we'd prefer to just buy something one time and be done with it. So that was something we wanted to do as well. So as far as what I said just a second ago about the content being the focus, the name of this theme is Contentberg, and that's for a reason, obviously. The premise behind this theme is to make the content stand out. if you think about the type of business that we're in here, the whole point is to make the content the focus. We're just building info sites, right? All we're doing is just providing information for everybody. So you want that content to really stand out. You want that content to really shine. That's a big reason that was probably the main reason that we went with this theme. The text is really clean looking, like without any kind of customization, because you can customize themes all you want. Without any kind of customization, just out of the box, the font choices, the heading sizes, the padding, the margins, the spacing, like everything looks really, really good. The image placements and all that kind of stuff just really makes the content stand out. So that was the main reason that we went with this theme. So I'm going to kind of show you some of that stuff as we dive in here. So next, let me just kind of walk you through some of these settings. So over on the left side here, first thing, you can do this probably with any theme. Down at the bottom, you can kind of change what device you're looking at. So if you want to look at it on a mobile device, you click that button. So you can kind of see what it would look like on a phone, for example. Or you can look at it like it's on a tablet, or you can look at it like it's on desktop. So that's what we'll look at here. So for the home page, if we go in here, there's a few different settings. I'm just going to go into a couple of these. So like for home layout, so this is basically defining the basically like the grid layout of the home page. So right now we just have an image, header, text, and so on. There's some other stuff like the publish date and the time that it takes to read the article, estimated time, and so on. So you can change this up. You can do something like, say, do this grid post, 3 columns, and now you're seeing everything like this. Or you can do a mixed one, like mixed large post plus 2 grid, something like this. It can look like that, or something with a list, and so on. All sorts of ways. You can take the sidebar out. So lots of different ways you can customize this. Let me just put it back to the way it was. Back up here. So slider. Again, like I said, we don't use the slider feature, but if you want a slider on your page, all you got to do is take this text out here. You'll have a slider. It looks just like this. You can customize this in a bunch of different ways as well. This is on a timer, so it will slide automatically. You can change that right down here. Let me just change that back. This is kind of a nice feature too. So if you use MailChimp, you can actually add a subscription box right at the top of your site. It shows up right there. And you can just integrate that right with MailChimp. Let's see, what else? So let's go into header, logo. So some things you can do here. So if you look kind of at the top right here, and actually I'm going to show you over on the live sites here. So you have passiveincomeunlocked.com, so you can see what this looks like here. So we've got the menu across the top, social image, search bar over here, big logo, and down from there. If you look at My Backyard Life, you can see that the header is completely different. So you got a logo, smaller logo on the left, and you have the menu items across the top, then you still have the social icon and the search bar over here. So you can actually customize that all on this page right here with just a simple click. So right now I'm using style number 10, but let's say I want to go to style number 1, for example, and it's going to look like this. And this is probably what we have on this other site. But there's all sorts of different styles here. That's what you were seeing on this other tab right at the top here. That was kind of showing you way up here. So these are all the different styles. So if you change that setting, you're going to get one of these different styles here. So that's just all built in, click of a button. Just go back to 10 here. And you can add your social buttons and all that kind of stuff here. You can change the top bar if you want to make it dark instead of light. You know, it can pop a little bit more. And that looks pretty good. Let's see. So post and listings. So you can go in here. So this is about the post itself. So let's just go into a post here. This is kind of defining what you're going to see on the post. So like right now I have it set to category, date, comments. So if you look right here, it's just going to kind of show you what you're going to see on the post. So like blogging tips is a category. It's got the author, the date, and the time it takes to read. You can change all these settings right here, so you can have it show whatever you want or what you don't want it to show. Let's see if there's anything else here. You can change the look of the post itself. So right now I have it set to this one. Let's say I go to magazine style here. It's going to look completely different. So again, super easy. Let me go back to this one here. You can take the sidebar out if you want to. You can add social buttons here, which are actually really nice. I use a plugin, or we use a plugin on all of our sites called Grow Social. Mediavine runs that now, but you don't have to be on Mediavine's network to use it. That's where these icons come from here. But you can use the social share buttons that are built in if you would like to. So if you don't want to use a plugin, for example, and they look like this, so they look really nice as well. And you can pick all those here, change the wording and all that kind of stuff, and they show up at the bottom as well. Take that out. All right. Okay, another thing I can show you at the bottom of a post here. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see these related posts. So I like this a lot from the theme. So we used to use a plugin for related posts, but now we actually use what's built into the theme. So this is really nice. It looks really, really sharp on desktop and mobile. And so it looks just like this. You can also do previous next posts like this. What this will show you, it loads. So there's no next post in this. I'll click on this one and show you what it's going to look like here. So we scroll to the bottom here. So if you enable this option for previous next post, you're going to see this option right above the related post. So that's another really nice feature to drive more traffic to other pages on your site, probably reduce your bounce rate as well. So let me bounce back here. You can also do this Pinterest on image option here, which is really nice. Basically what it does, it puts a pin it button on every image within the article. We have an image here, so just like this, you hover over an image, it's going to bring that pin it button. Just encourages the person to pin that to social media or to Pinterest. So that's really nice. That's built in as well. As far as colors and styles, so what you're going to see with a free theme, you're going to usually go in here, you're going to have like 1 or 2 options with just a couple settings under each one where you can just kind of change the overall feel of the theme. In this case, you have quite a few different colors you can set to really customize the way that the site looks as far as colors go. As far as your fonts, one thing that I really like about this particular theme is the fonts are really, really clean looking, and that's because it uses Google fonts. So all the fonts that you see here are Google fonts. So Google fonts are loaded externally, so that's one thing that will slow your site down. There's a very simple workaround for that we implemented recently, and site speed is not an issue, and I'll actually come to that in a second here. Aside from that, you have lazy loading of images built in. We do this with a theme. We use Smush Pro for that, but you can do lazy loaded images right from this theme itself. That's nice as well. Yeah, that's about it. So I mean, all this other stuff you're going to see in just about any theme, but just to kind of give you an idea what the back end looks like. So, and I'm going to show you the front end here real quick as well. So this is what your visitors see. So we got passive income unlocked, and then my backyard life. Kind of already went over the homepage as far as what the difference looks like there. So if we just go into a post, just to kind of show you the difference there, just open these up. So I have no ads running on passiveincomeunlocked.com, where we do have ads over here. So you're going to notice that difference. But if you just ignore that and just kind of look at what the posts look like, you'll see the first thing, like I have on passiveincomeunlocked.com, I have the featured image stretching across the top, whereas on Backyard Life, we just have this standard looking image here, and this is what we do on our other sites as well. It's just a different feel. You have all this information right up here with the date and the no comments and time it takes to read right there, whereas on this one you have it right here, and you have the category highlighted up here, and so on. As you scroll down, and this is not part of the theme, these buttons here, but this is that Grow Social plugin that I told you about. So as you see, we have them different here as well. Just different ways to customize the look and feel. But yeah, so that's kind of what the front end is going to look like. As I showed you on this tab over here, if you kind of scroll down to the choose your article style, you'll see that there's a bunch of different ways you can make your post look. The reason we really liked it, though, if you just look at the way the text really pops here, there's so much spacing. There's extra padding on the sides versus some other themes that you'll see out there. Lots of space in between paragraphs and headers. The font is really clean. The height spacing, line spacing is really well done, where you don't have to adjust it at all. The headings really pop. The images everything looks good in this theme, good and clean. It just makes it really, really easy to read. And that's the whole point with a info site. We want it to look really good, so when somebody lands on your page, they want to stay there and keep reading. And when you add ads, obviously, it's going to look a lot busier, as you can see here. But as a whole, it still looks pretty clean. You have some ads in there, but as a whole, you're still seeing really clean, easy to read text and so on. So last thing I wanted to kind of talk about with this theme, and with any theme really, is speed. So speed is very important. It's something that Google's brought up a lot more recently with the Core Web Vitals, of course. So that's something you want to keep in mind. You want a theme that is lightweight, something that's going to load quickly. You want to pass the metrics for the Core Web Vitals if possible. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't. But also the most important thing is that the site actually loads fast for your visitors. So if you're actually on the site itself and you open up a page, you want it to open pretty quickly. You don't want to take several seconds to open a page, right? So that's the main thing. So with this particular theme, when you get it out of the box, you're going to be in the 90s. If you start adding some plugin, 90s, I'm talking about Google Page Speed Insights tool. So that's the page I'm on here. You're going to be in the 90s right off the bat. You start adding some plugins and you'll probably see that score drop. That's going to be with any theme. In this case, it's pretty easy to get that score or keep that score right up in the 90s. There were some small tweaks that we made. There's one with the Google fonts, like I said, making sure you lazy load your images, and there's a couple other small things. If you want to know the details, let me know in the comments. I can go over that in a future video. But anyways, this is passiveincomeunlocked.com. Just ran this right before I started this video. Mobile score is 93. Desktop is 100. That's on a live site. No ads, of course. If you add ads to your site, that's going to slow your site down. That's probably going to bring you down, like on our other sites, we're more towards like the 70s for mobile, and then usually around 90s for desktop. So that's kind of what the scores that we see for this particular theme. So like I said, ads will slow down your site. Hosting will also make a big difference. So if you're using shared hosting with Bluehost or GoDaddy or something like that, which is completely fine. That's what we recommend early on. You're not going to probably hit scores like this. But as you start getting some more traffic to your site, you're probably going to upgrade your hosting, and that's when you want to kind of look at maybe dedicated hosting or cloud hosting, something like that. We recently switched to Rocket, so that's what we're using. That's what you're seeing with these scores. We were using, and I'll link to that in the description as well. We were using Kinsta before Rocket, same thing, super fast. We haven't seen a drop off in speed from going from Kinsta to Rocket. We are seeing a huge cost savings, so that's good. But anyways, if you're using shared hosting, you're probably not going to see these kind of scores. But again, that's fine on day one. It's once you start to get those visitors to your site. I'm talking like maybe 20,000, 30,000 visitors per month. That's when you probably want to look at upgrading your hosting. And that's when it kind of gets more important to hit these higher scores. And aside from just hitting these scores, because these scores are good, they make you feel good, you're in the green or whatever. But what you really want is you want the actual user experience to be good as well, because there are ways to trick the system more or less and get these high scores without actually benefiting your users. And sometimes you can do things that actually hurt your users. So for example, if you want to score a higher, I think it was, which one is it? I think it's the largest contentful paint. That's the largest element that shows up at the top of your page or something, if I'm thinking of the right one. You can take out the main image that shows and you'll get a better score there, but you're not helping your users. So just something to keep in mind. But in our case though, like the score is high, but also the site loads very quickly too. I mean, you click on an article, opens very, very quickly. As far as the Google Core Web Vitals across all 6 of our sites, I should say 5. I won't count Passive Income Unlocked because that one does not have enough visitors to even show up in Search Console yet as far as that metric. But the other 5 sites are all in the green on that, so we're passing everything on Core Web Vitals. Again, that's with this theme and using Rocket. So those are probably the main things. Just a couple little tweaks that we made. So again, guys, been going on and on about this theme, so I'll just wrap it up there. But again, just want to point out, when you first start a site, you don't need to pay for a theme. We definitely recommend going with a free theme, in fact. But once you start getting some visitors to your site, some content on your site, that's when you kind of want to look at whether or not it makes sense to upgrade. So, and if you do, this is a good option, but carve out your own path. Do your research. You don't have to go with this one. Actually, another reason why we went with this one, by the way, which I didn't mention early on, is because a lot of people tend to use, they'll follow a channel. That channel will promote a theme. And everybody on the net has that same theme. So you go out there and you're looking around, you see that theme over and over and over again, and you're like, yep, I know where they learn all their information or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But personally, I like to kind of carve my own path, do something different. So we're trying to find a theme that's not as heavily used. That's what we did. But again, do your own research, find something that works for you. Make sure it checks all the boxes you're looking for. Make sure it's lightweight, responsive. Cost is up to you on how much you want to spend and so on. So just make sure it checks those boxes, and if it does, and you have enough visitors on your site to justify it, that's the time to move on and pay for a theme. Alright guys, so that's it for this one. Like I said right in the beginning of the video, if you're brand new to blogging or if this is your first site, just use a free theme. You don't need to pay for anything. Once you start getting some content on your site, some visitors over your site, that's when you can start to look at whether or not it makes sense to pay for a theme. And once you do that, you don't have to go with the one that we use. You don't have to go with Contentberg. Do your own research. You're going to hear me say that a lot. There's more than one way to succeed. You don't have to copy everything we're doing or anything that anyone else is doing. It's good to kind of carve out your own path. So definitely do your own research, decide what's best for you and your site. So guys, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up below. Also, head over to passiveincomeunlocked.com if you want more tips for growing your blog. Thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.